Hey, what's up? It's Addison, and I'm gonna tell a story. I think I'm gonna call it Water Bottle Fingers, and it's about the time that I got third-degree burns on my right hand. So it was 4th of July, and it was my mom's friend's like family event. But my mom and her friend are like very close friends, so we were invited to it, and she has two kids, and they live on this big ranch thing. And there's a potato cannon, like this trailer park, and there's a lake, and there's also like kind of like a cow pen. And when I get there, it's like an hour-long drive there. But I sit down, and there's this whole thing. It's a whole bunch of old people, because I don't know, she doesn't have any like young family members, I guess. And it's actually like 100 old people in this huge barn with like 200 seats. And let's see, from where I was sitting, behind me, which was the left of the barn, there was this whole like array of tables, but they were just like stacked with food, but they were all covered. And it was like 5 o'clock, and I'm a big eater, so I was kind of upset. I was like, why can I not eat? And this was in a car for an hour. But I get bored because I'm just trying to talk to a whole bunch of old people. So I decide to go look around. And there's not much to tell. I look around for honestly like 2 hours because I was so bored. It's like I live in front of like kind of a forest, so I'm normally like an outside person. But it was really hot, and I'm not a big fan of heat, although I do live in Texas. It's not a blast. So it's eventually firework time, and I think it was like 7 o'clock. Well, I kind of just totally skipped whenever I had dinner, but it was nothing much. But it was about 7 o'clock, and I was like, why are we here? I want to go home. But it was a nice firework event. There was nothing too fancy about it. They spent like $3,000 on it, but it was like it wasn't like a big corporate thing. It was just like a family and friend event. So once I get done with the fireworks, I wanted to go get some more food because I like walked around for 2 hours, so I was kind of exhausted, and it was hot, and I was like burning calories. And there's a whole like array of junk food still left, and there's like a snow cone machine, and I get a snow cone. I think I got like a Coke or something like that. And on my way like back to the fireworks, or like where my parents are, I saw a table of like 1,000 sparklers, like a pretty big investment. It's not a lot of money, but it's still, I've never seen that many sparklers in one time, or like one place. So I grab like 20 of them, and I sit down real quick, and I finish my food. And I go over to this big field, and it's probably ankle-high grass. Like really big, thick, dry grass. And there's like one car there, maybe two. And I asked this one lady if she had a lighter. She's like, yeah, sure, here you go. And so I didn't want to like put the sparklers in the grass because I didn't have a phone back then. And it was pitch black, so I couldn't see anything on the ground. So I just take the sparklers and take the lighter. And for reference, the sparkler was in my left hand, lighter was in my right hand. And I light the sparklers, all 20 of them. And instead, you know how sparklers, it's a few like spurts of it's like sparks, I guess. But this was just like a ball of fire. Like they weren't playing around. It was pretty large. And I get pretty excited. I was like, oh my gosh, this is super cool. But then eventually it starts getting hot, and I was like, oh, this is pretty big. It's kind of dangerous. And so I toss. It's kind of like hot potato almost. And I toss it from left to right, left to right. And this lady comes over, and she starts stomping on the grass. I was like, what are you stomping the grass for? And there was like a circle of fire around me. So I was not, like, I wasn't paying attention. I was like 10. So once it finally like dies out, I look at my right hand, and half of my hand was like aching from pain. And you could like, it wasn't blood, but you could see it was jacked up. But it was about, all of it was almost underneath my knuckles and on the top of my hand. So I freak out, and there's, the snow cone machine was cool, but it was mostly water. There was no, like, ice, and there's no Ziploc bags to put the ice in. So I go over to the, water, cooler, and I get 5 little, water bottles that you would, like, put in, like, a kid's lunch. And I stick them on every single one of my fingers on my right hand. And, as y'all can probably imagine, it only goes down to the bottom of your, finger. So it doesn't get past your knuckles in any way or form. So it didn't help me at all. I was just sitting there for an hour back home with my hand aching. And as soon as I get home, we didn't have any ice packs for some reason. We only had like Ziploc bags. So I just made myself like an ice Ziploc bag. And I remember laying down with my hand aching. And I just had it like laying over. And when I woke up, there was a huge blister on my hand. But I noticed the bag isn't there anymore. So I look left and right because my phone drops on either side all the time. And I see it's on the right side. And I remember this very vividly. But my parents are divorced, so that day was the day for me to go to my dad's house. And we go to like a pediatrician, not a pediatrician, like one of those 24-hour doctor things that you'd find like on the street. Like they pop up like everywhere. And I got I went into there, and my dad told me they're going to have to sand off my hand. And I was 10, so I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I didn't. And all they did was they put, like, hydrogen peroxide on my hand. And we went and bought, like, this, like, thing that covers up my hand and some wrap for it. And the thing that sucked is, like, 2 days after that, I went to the beach. So I couldn't do anything at the beach. All I had to do was, like, play in the sand. And my mom, she put a whole bunch of plastic bags over my hand. So even if, like, I did go in the water, like, it would get into my hand. So I just had to dig in the sand. It was not fun at all. Probably one of the worst family vacations that I've had. All right. This was Maximus. Peace out.